Hey YouTube, Earthbound17 here, and this video is basically describing how you can use this device right here and get support for it, update it, and use it on your Game Boy Advance games correctly. So what we have here is the Gameshark for Game Boy Advance version 1 by Interact. Now there's many versions of Gameshark, and there's many different devices for creating cheat codes and implementing them in your Game Boy Advance games. There's Action Replays, obviously. Those and Gameshark are the most well known, and there's other ones as well that aren't as widely used. I actually have another one right here. This is the code breaker for Game Boy Advance. Not a very common device. I kind of got it randomly. Someone sent it over to me to try it out, and it's kind of error prone. But if you're interested in learning more about it, just shoot me a message, and we can talk. But I won't be talking about this one very much. But the Gameshark that I have here, there's really no videos online explaining how to use this properly, and I wish there were. I wish there had been a video like this when I started using it, because I found it on eBay pretty cheap, and you can, if you keep your eyes peeled, you'll see them now and then. And what I didn't realize exactly what I was getting into when I bought it. So hopefully I can explain to you guys how to upgrade this and use it. So first we're going to talk about the Gameshark and Action Replay device interchangeability. Typically their codes are in different formats. The Gameshark codes are 8 digits followed by a 4-digit modifier, and Action Replays are pairs of 8 digits. So I really didn't think there was going to be any overlap between codes, and there really isn't, except for in this one case. So this is the version 1 of the Gameshark. Like I said, it's by Interact. So let's take a look at the Action Replay for Game Boy Advance. I don't own it, but here's a picture of it from Google. Easy to search up. And you might be noticing something. They look very similar. Why is that? Because they are actually the same device, just with a different logo. So why is that? Because Action Replay was originally a European product that the Interact company sold in America under the Gameshark name, although it was actually Action Replay. So this is very confusing. Would have been very helpful if they had just called it an Action Replay to begin with. But what ended up happening was the company Mad Catz took over the Gameshark brand and made their own devices for the Game Boy Advance, which look like this, which you might be familiar with as the iconic Gameshark Advance. There's a couple different versions of it. This right here is the Gameshark SP. So Gameshark went to a completely different company and then had completely different codes in the current Gameshark format that you're probably familiar with, which is actually codebreaker format. which was started by our friend here with the company Pelican. So Action Replay, the Detel company that makes the action replays for the DS that I've talked about in my other videos, they made the later versions of the Action Replay for Game Boy Advance, and those continued using the Action Replay format. So this guy right here actually uses Action Replay version 1 codes. So the reason why this is relevant to us, why can't we just use the original device as it is with those codes? Because these games right here, Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Leaf Green, two of the most popular games of their time, and really for the whole device, they do not work with this device because they were made after it. So having one of these and playing it with these is, well, not going to be much help unless you upgrade your device to Action Replay version 3. So remember that this is an Action Replay, and so you can upgrade it to the current, well, not current, but the final version of Action Replay for Game Boy Advance. So when you get this device, it will have the Gameshark firmware in it. It won't say Action Replay anywhere, and there'll be no sign that it's even related to Action Replay at all. But if you plug it into your computer, you can actually upgrade it, and it will be as though it is an Action Replay, but still, you know, have the Gameshark logo on it. What we're looking at here is the Amazon page for that exact device that I have. So there it is in the picture. This is the original packaging. It comes with the PC software disc and the USB cable. So that's pretty cool that they still have these in their original packaging. Good 15 years old. But you know, you can see the price here is for $270. Completely ridiculous, of course. No one in their right minds would pay that. They have them used for $80. You know, these prices fluctuate a little, but it's always going to be way too high. But like I said, you can pick them up on eBay for pretty cheap and whatnot. You know, I wouldn't really recommend specifically buying this device, but you know, sometimes you get it, maybe you already had it, maybe you find it on eBay pretty cheap, and you know, you say, well, I want to use it, but I can't. Well, this video is going to tell you how. So, for me, I didn't have the disc, I didn't have the cable, but, you know, you do a simple Google search and you can find the cable. Here it is, for only $6, Office Max. I found it on Amazon for, I don't know, about the same price. So I bought it, and here it is. Plugs right in, as though I bought it with the device itself, which was really nice for me. I didn't have to, you know, go back and, well, I mean, if they didn't have it online, I probably just would have quit right then and there, but they did. So as far as getting the software, you can download it online. I'm actually going to post this link to this website. It's just one of the couple guides online about upgrading your device. And at the bottom they have the files for the computer software. And that's really nice that they have it. They don't have the Gameshark software anywhere online. So you're really going to have to use the Action Replay if you want to go anywhere with this device. So I downloaded this program, loaded it up on my computer, all excited to finally upgrade it, load in some codes. It's going to be great. and my computer doesn't recognize the device. So, you know, okay, what now? Why isn't it recognizing it? I took a look at the driver files, because when you download this program, it comes with a bunch of folders and files and things so that it can run, and it comes with the driver files for your device when you plug it in via USB, so it recognizes it and can communicate with the device. So I looked into the code, into the driver files, and there's all these Windows 98, Windows 2000 codes, and you know, I'm thinking to myself, well, that's why my computer's not recognizing it, because there's got these ancient operating system codes in the driver files. So of course it's not going to recognize Windows 10. So I spent about an hour foolishly playing around with it, trying to make it read my device. Nothing worked. And read online, no one else could make it work. I was basically at a standstill. Until I realized that I can get Windows 2000 on my computer. And you're looking at it right now. It's simple with VirtualBox. That's all I'm running. There's probably 100 videos explaining how to get Windows 2000 on VirtualBox, so I'll leave you to figure that out on your own. But if you're going to want to run it on a modern operating system, I mean, you might get away with Windows XP, but you know, anything later than that, I doubt your computer is going to recognize the device. So here we are on Windows 2000. Here is the Action Replay software in all its glory. Comes with a bunch of different games and their codes loaded in already. That's what this PC database is. This is your Action Replay, Gameboy, whatever database. Right now I'm not plugged in, so it says not available. And yeah, so now I'll show you the process of using it, linking it up to this software, upgrading it, and then finally being able to use codes and program them in. So here's my Game Boy Advance, and I think it's important to mention that this device will not work with the Game Boy slot of the Nintendo DS. I think it's the way they programmed it. Some people say that if you like trim the plastic on the Action Replay, or you know, whatever you want to call this, Gameshark, that you can force it to read it. I don't know, I'm not going to mess with it. I have my Game Boy right here. Yeah, it's a little discolored. It's very old. Whatever. But you're probably going to have to use one of these if you want this to work well. So, we just load it in, put your game in. It will not work without a game in the slot. You can't just use it without anything in there. Plug in our USB cord, and before you plug it into the computer, you want it to be on, and you want it to be already saying Action Replay, or whatever. In this case, it'll say Gameshark if you haven't updated it yet. I've already updated mine, but later in the video you'll see footage I took during the upgrading process. So you plug it into your USB slot, and hopefully in Windows 2000 it will recognize your device. So whoopsie, oops, I don't know why it keeps resetting. Anyway, so I'm on the device manager of Windows 2000. Surprisingly, looks identical to the Windows 10 device manager. And down here we see US biocontrolled devices. and GBA link. That's how we know that the device is properly connected to your computer. So from there, we can go into the Action Replay software program and actually load in codes. You can actually do game saves, save them onto your computer and restore them as well, which is nice if something happens, of course. So first you click this button and it will communicate with your Game Boy, and it will, if it's not upgraded yet, that's when it will start the upgrading process. So now I will show you me doing that. So here's just a look at what the original Gameshark by Interact code screen looked like. So you have this screen here. It's kind of hard to see, I know, where you can add, edit games, whatever, all that good stuff. And just to show you this is version 1, and this device only works on the actual original Game Boy, not on the DS Game Boy slot, and you need to have a game inserted. So this is what it looks like in the Action Replay GBX computer software when it's updating your or upgrading your system software. It's a pretty slow process, as you can see, but you just gotta hang tight and don't touch anything. So while this process is going, you should see on the home screen of Gameshark, don't go into the program at all, just stay on the home screen. It should say communicating with PC. That's how you know that it's working. So once you're done with that step, it'll ask you if you're sure that you want to go ahead and do this. Click yes, and it'll be up, and then it will actually update your device, and there's no going back after this, which really isn't a bad thing because there's no reason to. Also just one thing, like I said, you want to make sure that your battery light is on green, not red, because if this dies in the process, you're going to be very sad. So change your batteries before you do this. So after the first step, it should say programming briefly, and then it will say updating, and the same thing will happen on the actual Game Boy. And now it says Action Replay at the top, communicating with PC. So now you're no longer a Gameshark, you're an Action Replay. Although it will still physically be a Gameshark device. And then finally it'll download the default codes for Action Replay, and on your device it'll say reading codes. I don't even know if you can see this screen. So if you have a game such as Pokemon Ruby, which I have in right now, and you click this download button on the saves section of the program, it'll actually read your save data for the game and download it in so that you can save it, and if something happens you can load it back on, which is really helpful. This only works on games where you actually have a game save, like the Pokemon games. Any of those games where you have to put in a code to load in a certain level or whatever, which I hate anyway, it's not going to work for this. So yeah, that's how you do this as well. So the final point I want to make is that when you're finally putting in codes to your program and putting them into the Action Replay to play on your game, there's going to be a ton of different codes online. The ones you want to use are typically going to be labeled ARV3. You want version 3 Action Replay codes. You don't want Gameshark. You don't want version 1, version 2. You want Action Replay version 3 codes. Now, those are very hard to find online. I don't know why. I've had a really hard time with it. But for Pokemon games, there's this really nice program out there called Ciro's Pokemon Maker. And this is what it looks like. And basically it allows you to choose your game, if I can click it, and from there you can choose what hardware you want the code to be made for, and you can basically create any Pokemon you want in your PC, or items as well. And there's Virtual Boy Advance, the emulator for the computer codes, Codebreaker, as I mentioned earlier, Gameshark, and finally ARV3, which is what you want for your newly upgraded device. Alright, so now you've got your device upgraded and working with your games. You've got a way of making codes, aside from just looking them up online, and you should be all set. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any other questions for me, just drop a comment, send a message, whatever you gotta do. There's lots of other videos online for this program that I have up right here for similar things, but you know, you should be all set now. So happy cheating, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.